Hello, my math independent study student. In this video, we are going to factor trinomial using a 2x2 box. So let's begin now. So let's start with the example. We are going to factor the trinomial 10x squared plus 11x minus 6. The first step, you are going to create a 2x2 box. So you go ahead and sketch a square and then divide your square into 4 square inside. Next step, from the top left corner and the bottom right corners, you can put your first and your last term. So I go ahead and put the first term on the top left corner of my 2x2 box, and the last term in the bottom right corner of my 2x2 box. So that will be step 2. Now let's move on to the next step. Now next step, I will go ahead and again, let me write out the given, because right now you don't see. So right here we ask you to factor the trinomial (10x squared plus 11x minus 6). So what we did is that we put the first term on the top left corner of the 2x2 box, the last term in the bottom right corner of the 2x2 box. The next step you're going to do is that you will multiply the first term and the last term together. So you take 10x squared, you would have negative 6, and that will give you negative 60x squared. Then you are going to find two factors that when you multiply, it will give you negative 60x squared. And these two factors, it have to be add up. So it have to be add up equal your middle terms. So negative 60 will so when you go ahead and 15 times negative 4, so that gives us negative 60, and then x squared, we'll factor them as x and x. So if we multiply these two factors, 15x times negative 4x, that will give us negative 60x squared. Also, if we add them up, that will give us positive 11x. So now you will put these two factors that you just found into the two open box. Now the question is that it just doesn't matter the order of how I put them. It does not matter, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and put 15 on the top right corner of my 2x2 box, and then negative 4x on the bottom left corner of my 2x2 box. So that will be step 3. The next step, step 4. So now you're going to go ahead and factor each row and each column. So this will be the row. So let me start with the first row here. You can see you have 10x squared and 15x. So the factor of 10 and 15 will be 5. And x squared and x will be x, so therefore we have 5x. And then let's move on to row number 2. We have negative 4x and negative 6. So again, the factor, so let me just write it down because I don't think you can see. So the factor of negative 4, so negative 4x, have the factor be negative 2 times 2 times x. Negative 6, the prime factor again be negative 2 times 3. So what do they have in common? So the common factor will be negative 2. So that's why we put them right here. You see that? So we're done with the row. So now we go to column. So this will be the column. So let's look at the first column here. So you have 10x squared and negative 4x. So again, 10x squared, if I'm going to ahead and fact, I'm going to write it down right here. So the 10x squared, if we write them as the factors, so it will be 2 times 5, these are two prime numbers, times x, and negative 4x will be negative 2 times 2 times x. So let's see what do they have in common. So they have in common will be the 2, the positive 2, and then the x. So therefore the greatest common factor for the first column will be 2x. And then you do the same thing for your second column. So you look at 15x and negative 6. So they both have 3 at the greatest common factor. So now the last step we are going to do will be when you write them as, so we're done with, so now when you write them, so now the sum of the factor of the column and the sum of the factor of the row will be our polynomial factor. So therefore you have 2x plus 3, so the sum, so we put the sum, and then 5x plus negative 2. So think about here, you have 2x plus 3 times 5x plus negative 2. Now you can simplify this on the second binomial. So the first one, 2x plus 3 stay, but the second binomial you can write them as just 5x minus 2. And this will be your two factor for the given trinomial. Now why don't you check it? So the whole point you want to check it, that you want to make sure that you multiply it out, and it has to be the same as the given. So the given trinomial, let me write it down, is 10x squared plus 11x minus 6. So I'm going to go ahead and check it by multiply these two by binomial. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute the first term of the first binomial with each one of the term in my second binomial. So that will give me 10x squared minus 4x. And then we do exactly the same thing for the second term. Like I told you in the past video, that we don't have to remember the FOIL method because it's very confusing. So we just go ahead and distribute each one of the term from your first binomial with every single term in your second binomial, and then just keep going. So right here, 3 times 5, so give us 15x. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. So now we do have like terms. These two terms, they are like terms because they have the same variable with the same exponent. So we combine the like terms, so that will give us 10x squared plus 11x minus 6. So it will be the same as the given trinomial. So I'm going to give it a check. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure that you write down the summary for us. Goodbye.